provide Wednesday the 15th of September, this part of the daily update using audio as opposed to video, just because we're now out in the field. We've moved out of the capital today. We're moving up to Nowshera. We visited Nowshera and some of the cities and the towns around it, just to see for ourselves the extent of damage and to visit some of the medical clinics. It's clear from the outset that once you get up here that things are pretty serious. Just driving up the main road, you have camps on either side of the main road, which has been set up where people who've been displaced have kind of come out of their homes and just set up camps at the nearest available point. I was told that last week is actually even worse, that actually roads were being blocked and the motorway was actually obstructed by people with their tents. Because things are so bad that the government and the police have had to move them on. The water damage is still quite clear to see as well. Houses just simply destroyed. One part of the town, there was a truck that was overhanging quite precariously over the edge of a bridge. So it's clear to see that something pretty drastic and dramatic had happened. On the way in, there was obviously the United Nations were around, and there was signs of a couple of major international NGOs too, which had their tents up and all the rest of that. So that was obviously positive to see. There were a number of medical relief camps set up as we were coming in. There were queues forming through various parts of the place as well. Normality was beginning to return to me to speak to people and ask them how it was last week or the week before. It was far worse in terms of just the sheer number of people that were here. Things have begun to improve slightly. People are beginning to move out of the camps and think about moving back to their homes. Something to note that it was that when the floods hit, many people moved out of their homes and moved into local schools. So if you think now it's September, schools, children are going back to schools now. The government extended public holidays. I think there's something like a month just to be able to cope with the situation. But schools have now begun to reopen, and where people were initially in schools, they're now being forcibly moved out of these schools. Again, pretty much back on the street or in these refugee camps in essence, which were set up by various NGOs and the army. So that's kind of where things currently stand. I mean, speaking to doctors at these various medical research as we've been doing today, seeing some of the patients, they were talking about cases of malaria beginning to spring up, fairly intense 5-year-olds who are coming in with infected diarrhea. An interesting dynamic they were talking about was pregnant women who they're seeing more and more of, and they're concerned that these pregnant women are over the next couple of months going to be giving birth, and the lack of facilities available really for that process, and their concerns around that. Skin infections, scabies was obviously a big concern. Viral conjunctivitis and eye infection is sweeping the country and is affecting the doctors who are actually working in the relief camps as well, which is another dynamic which I guess, it doesn't always occur to you actually, that the doctors themselves who are working in these relief camps need to be fit and well. Unfortunately, a few of them are succumbing to the illnesses which are affecting the people, understandably given the nature of the work and the close proximity in which they're working within. So that was today. So today, really in essence, to highlight, we moved out of the capital. We're now stationed in Nowshera. We've met medical camps. We know roughly where the medicines are going to be going to because we've met these camps. We know their infrastructures. We know that they're reliable. We know the mechanism by which they're going to deliver the medication. Tomorrow, inshallah, the first batch of medication is actually arriving. So we've placed the order for all the medication today. And tomorrow, inshallah, the first batch will be arriving. It's about £2,000 worth of medication is arriving tomorrow, approximately. And that'll be distributed to two or three of the local camps that are set up. We've been through quite meticulously their medication requirements. We're quite satisfied that there's a genuine need and that they have in place effective mechanisms to deliver that medication. Tomorrow we'll be seeing patients ourselves. We'll be going out and about and going further into the towns which haven't been as widely publicised or as widely known and who haven't been as widely reached by some of these international NGOs, and seeing what work we can do at a more local level. Once the first batch of medication arrives tomorrow, once we're happy that the distribution mechanism is all in place, then we'll start ordering batches of medication in far larger quantities, up to £5,000 to £6,000 worth of medication each time, once we're satisfied that they can be reliably delivered, reliably distributed. So that's where things are currently. We'll further update, inshallah, tomorrow. Internet access is non-existent out here. The only mechanism now of communication is by telephone, and even that's scarce some of the time. But things aren't too bad, mashallah, and things are slowly getting better.